guys, welcome back to another week of Mortgage Matters in Minutes. Again, I'm your host, Brent Rasmussen, owner of Mortgage Specialists. Today, we're going to talk about the difference between APR and your interest rate. What's the real difference? Because in regards to federal law, we have to disclose APR anytime we're quoting an interest rate. So it confuses a lot of individuals, and many don't understand how simple this actual discussion can be. So you're in luck. Today, we'll have a short video that's really quickly, easily understood. On the loan estimate, you're going to have an estimation of your interest rate, but also an estimation of your APR. So really the difference between what interest rate and APR is, APR stands for annual percentage rate, is the real cost of how much you're borrowing. Let's put it to you this way. The interest rate might be at 7%, but since you pay extra costs, fees, numbers, items on top of that 7%, your APR is always higher than your interest rate is. Your payment for the loan is always based on your interest rate. APR is really just for disclosure purposes so that when you want to shop between lender and lender, you can compare APR. We've talked about this many, many times because a lot of online lenders may show you a much lower interest rate, but they're charging very high fees in regards to making that particular loan happen. So their APR could be much higher than what the actual interest rate is due to points, underwriting fees, any finance charges, any mortgage insurance, either monthly or upfront. Any of those charges I describe as fees you pay to obtain to get a loan. They factor all of that in and they say, here's the calculation of how interest rate versus APR works. So is it really a trick? No. What's the most simplest thing that you can do in comparing between lender and lender, mortgage company, credit union, the credit union, is look at the APR. That's the real cost of the money that you're paying for. And that's when we have been talking the last few weeks about whether refinancing makes sense or buying makes sense or doesn't make sense. We look at what the true cost of that loan is so you have a better understanding of kind of what's going on there. There is a very specific formula of how APR is calculated, and we can always talk and go through that. But for most people, that gets to be much over their head, and they really just want to know the difference between why is my APR higher than your interest rate? Generally, it's because every loan that exists is going to have closing costs. If you didn't have any closing costs whatsoever and you're charged a 7% interest rate, your APR would match that as well too. So this APR is calculated by Truth in Lending Law, TILA, that allows consumers to be disclosed what the real cost of the money that they're borrowing is. Hopefully that makes a little bit of simple understanding straight to the point today of the difference between interest rate and APR, but we're always here to answer any simple or complicated questions at 402-991-5153. Or here at Mortgage Specialists, you can check us out on our website at mtg-specialists.com. And we look forward to seeing you here next week. And check us out on YouTube below. Make sure you leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great rest of your week.
Mortgage Specialists. Driven, trusted, reliable.